Voltaire said, "Every man is a creature of the age in which he lives, and few are able to raise themselves above the ideas of the time." Plato said, "Wise men speak because they have something to say, fools because they have to say something." George Bernard Shaw thought that the reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man. This is Whiskey Hell. Think critically. Act accordingly.
Saturday, September 7th, 7:25 in the evening. This is Whiskey Hell Podcast. We're your hosts, McShane and Fitz. And Fitz, I got to tell you, I am so jacked because everything that we're going to talk about absolutely sucks. It was a week of absolute total bullshit, and we are just going to light it up.
Dude, this week was a fucking workshop in a college level, 400 level college course on how to be a terrible human. That's all this week was. Yeah, everything. All of it. Just everybody and everyone sucks, and everything sucks. And you know what? That's not even like a downer. I don't want people to think this is going to be like a downer show. It's not. Because we get to point it all out and have fucking fun with it. Because these people are dumb.
Exactly. We're going to be able to go ahead and pick this week apart because the doc is gigantic. We had to stop at some point, but then, hey, we got another shooter just this afternoon that we get to talk about too.
Did.
This is so exciting. This is really so exciting. I mean, people dying left and right. We've got manifestos coming out finally from the Tennessee trans shooter that popped up. We got Russian disinformation. It's apparently a bunch of talking heads on the right side. They're all being financed by Russia. And but Putin's just came out and said he's supporting Kamala. And then there's the jobs are down. The mayor of New York, he's retarded. I use this term retarded. Sorry. Venezuelan oil is going crazy, and we might be going in there. I got another prediction. You know what? Our beers aren't going to suck, and our friends in chat don't suck, but everything else we're going to talk about completely sucks.
Yep. Yeah. Hey, so I'm working on this new theory.
Okay.
Just, before we dive in, I want your take on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
So, the details I'm still working out, but it basically goes something like this. What do hurricanes and mass shooters have in common? And it's again, the details are a little fuzzy, but it's climate change. Okay.
Oh, so, I was going to say racism, but okay.
Yeah. Well, but climate change also affects racism. Climate change.
Oh, you're right.
Right. Okay. So, and it also is, against gays. We've established that on the show. It's against the whole LGBTQ community, which is why the guy is shooting. It also affects the FBI's ability to actually get these guys, because they're both of them are on watch lists, but we're not going to do anything about it. So anyway, it's a working theory, but I just, maybe tonight it may come back in here or there, because I feel like there's a link there, and it's like right on the tip of my penis, and I just can't quite grab it.
Well, like anything that's just the tip, we should get right to our beers.
Yeah, definitely.
And that was a sucky transition, and that's why I did
it. Hey, maybe we suck tonight too. My significant other, my wife, is out of town, but she was kind enough to sheath a beer for me in the beer condoms we use. So I have a mystery beer tonight, even though she's not even here to pick it for me.
She sheathed it ahead of time for you?
Yep, she left. She sheathed it before she left yesterday. So that's how much this show means in this house. I mean, and she was like on it. So anyway, all I know is this is a offering from Hopworks, which we've featured on the show many times. They're a big outfit up these parts. They Hopworks. I mean, if you couldn't guess from the name, they're big on IPAs. This
Yeah.
does not smell like an IPA, my friend. I'm I'm getting some I'm getting some like American strong or barley wine notes here. So I'm gonna taste it.
I've noticed your
Mm.
beers have been getting more. They've been getting heavier at the beginning of the
Yes.
show.
Yeah. Well, when she pulled that non-alcoholic stunt on me, I was like, listen, you went the wrong direction on that. We need to go bigger, badder, heavier.
Right.
Okay, so I was completely off the on the smelling notes. My olfactory is off tonight because this is a sour of some sort. This is a um I don't even think it's a fruited sour. I think it's just a straight up fucking in your face, I'm gonna stick it in you sour.
Okay.
Mm.
So we've got some of their sours here. We've got a pumpkin ale that looks like a pumpkin sour. That's
No,
crazy.
that's not one of their sours. That one's actually a spicy pumpkin ale. That one's good. I have some of that in my fridge too. That's why
Oh,
I know
okay.
that.
All right.
Um,
So
this
Pog.
this could be yeah, this could be that one right there. That tropical. Although, yeah, I'm just kind of reading that. I'm not getting.
So this one is Hopworks Brewery Pog Tropical Sour. The showstopper is a light, bright sour ale brimming with passion fruit, orange, and guava.
God,
They've got a
I'm just
sour
not getting
berry.
any of that orange in there.
Well, here's a
Well,
radler. Is there grapefruit?
what's that?
Because that's a radler, which is going to be close to that. It's more of a shandy,
Oh,
so not quite a
but that's only
sour,
a 2.4
but
percenter.
she wouldn't do that to
I
you.
don't like that. She wouldn't do that to me.
All
Well,
right.
I don't know.
Well,
Maybe like,
I,
hey, I'm out of town. Stay sober. All right, let's see what we got.
well, that's not going to work. Go,
Okay,
go
I
ahead. What
I
do you got?
almost I almost guessed this.
Okay.
This is the rindless. This is the watermelon goza. And I was gonna say I'm
Ah,
almost
okay.
tasting a watermelon rind in this, or like a. I wasn't even gonna say watermelon. I was just gonna say melon, like that sour you get from the like a cantaloupe or a honeydew rind.
Yeah.
Um, Good beer, very decent. I'm interesting concept. I really kind of like it.
Not overpowering with the watermelon though.
No, no, hardly any watermelon at all. There's I Now that I know it's in there, I'll probably taste more of it, but I wasn't picking it up on the initial. It was just that really kind of sour rind melon flavor.
This refreshing kettle sour brewed with watermelon, lime, and Jacobson sea salt features subtle aromas of flavors of watermelon candy and lime zest, balanced with a touch of salinity. This summertime sour ale is soft, bright, and thirst quenching. So cool. All right. Well, I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah,
it's a
definitely.
goes. So yeah,
Yeah.
you've got your salt beer for the night.
Yeah, for sure. And definitely thirst quenching. Like I could definitely see myself grabbing one of these after a session of sparring or something. Like it's a thirst quencher for sure.
Yeah.
What do you got over there?
So I've never had a Founders Ultimate Oktoberfest. Apparently, they're doing this series where they've actually taken their Marzen that they'd have for Oktoberfest and they've made it they've bourbon barreled it. So it's actually a 9.4. It's only available between August to October, and I don't know what I'm getting here. It poured a deep orange,
Okay.
like any other kind of Oktoberfest. So if you've ever had
Yeah.
like a Sam Adams Oktoberfest, same concept. Um, you definitely smell the barrel though. You definitely do. I'm just gonna go ahead and taste it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a fan of Oktoberfest. They're kind of like IPAs for
Oh
me. At
wow!
this time of year, yes. Other times of year, not at all. Which is why they only come out now.
Right. Oh wow! Yeah, that's an Oktoberfest beer, and it's been barreled. That's exactly what it is. Marzens have a kind of a sweet, weedy taste to them, right? So it's going to be kind of it's a little bit mellower beer, kind of chewy. But man, that barrel, you get the Oktoberfest up front, and then it hits you.
Right between the sweet spots.
Mm-hmm. Man,
Hey,
it's almost like
did you
drinking
know-
two different beers. Honestly.
Yeah, that is kind of an interesting combo, honestly, because Oktoberfests are, they're malty. It's a Marzen, right? It's a
Yeah.
Marzen style beer, a German style darker beer.
And it's
so
built for a good amount of alcohol and then drinking a lot of them because it's not offensive.
Right, exactly. You could just down, that's why they have those giant fucking steins, of 32 ounces or whatever they are. But then you barrel age it. That's a twist. That's interesting.
It is wild. It's still chewy too. That's a very interesting beer. I'm not a big fan of Founders after they got rid of CBS.
Yeah. Same.
They made some decisions that
The
kind of
KBS, you mean?
No, CBS, the Canadian Breakfast Stout.
Oh.
Kentucky
I still like
still have.
I still like the KBS. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, were you ever not to shift gears here, Andy? I promise this will make sense in a second. Were you ever a pantyhose fetish guy? Did you ever get into pantyhose?
No, not
No, me.
No,
me
that's
either.
just I can't find them for me. It's kind of hard. I've never fit well in them.
They don't fit. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you've got that. I don't think they make them in your size. Period.
Well, nowadays they have to, otherwise you're being.
Well, that's true. Yeah. That's true. What's her name? The big black girl that plays the flute.
Lizzo?
Yeah, Lizzo. She wears pantyhose all the time. And I'm not comparing you to Lizzo. I'm just saying, like, they do make them.
Lizzo's still bigger than me, and she's lost like 100 pounds.
Yeah. Well, the reason I'm asking is because, like, it's just a weird thing. Because I was reading here on the screen, get out your lederhosen and prepare for an intense wave of Bavaria hysteria, which is what it says on Founders website here about the beer you're drinking. And lederhosen, it's just not my thing. But then I was thinking, like, there's a fine line between thigh highs, which I'm totally into, and is definitely one of my kinks. Thigh highs and a short skirt. I honestly, as long as you're a female, I'm in. Like, let's do this. But I don't know. There's just that fine line between lederhosen, which are, just under the knee, thigh highs, which are just over the knee, and then you go another 8 inches, and now you're in pantyhose or leggings, I guess. I don't know. I'm just a weird thing.
The whole Bavarian dress style, the classic Bavarian dress style, I find it very like if I was over there, maybe I would try and wear some lederhosen just because why not? Right? It's really not
right.
Yeah, like I think
when
Lisa,
in Rome.
I think Lisa's FBI radar tonight. Yes, why is there not cargo short hosen? I completely agree.
Oh my God, yes. Because they make utilikilts.
Yeah, it's and if you look at lederhosen, it's really not that far off of cargo shorts. So right. If I was in Bavaria, right? If I was in the motherland, if I can refer to it like that, I probably can't. I can't. Was that? I don't know if I can say that. I'm not from there. I guess I can't say that. If I was in.
Hey, listen, Kamala. Listen, Kamala. You can say whatever you want.
That's
and
right.
in whatever accent you want.
As long as I change my accent, I can get away with anything.
Yeah.
So as long as I am in Germany, and I'm not even gonna do this. I would probably wear.
I was waiting, dude. I was so waiting for you to try it.
I tried to, and I couldn't get my mouth couldn't make the sounds, which means I just need to drink more. Maybe I'll do that later. We'll see. But I'm on
just
Bavaria Trachten,
Well done.
TRACHTEN.com.
Yep.
You guys can go there and take a look at your own lederhosen, maybe pick up some. I would wear some lederhosen if I had to, and I do find women attractive when they're in that classic garb and not wearing any underwear.
Well, yeah, I mean, when are women not attractive when they don't have underwear on? But yeah, I again, like when in Rome, like I would totally do that too if I went to like an official Oktoberfest or some Bavarian festival or something. Apparently here in my area, they do a Scandinavian festival every year.
Really?
And I've been,
Well, that could be fun.
It happened a couple weeks ago. And I honestly, dude, everything here seems to be, how can I say this nicely? Everything here seems to be done like quarter-assed. It's not even half-assed, dude. It's just basically a bunch of people get together and they put up those shitty tents and they offer their shitty food and
LARPing.
weak beer. Yeah, yes, but even worse than that, dude. It's not even. I don't know. So I've never been, and I know people that have been, and they enjoyed it, but they're also from here, so they don't know what an actual festival is like. So yeah, we'll see. Maybe next year. Maybe I'll do it just for the show. For the show, I might sacrifice a day and go out to the Scandinavian festival and see what the fuck's up.
Well, Lisa just posted in chat Elderhosen.
Oh my God, there they are. They're leather fucking cargo shorts.
I might be on board with this.
Oh, I'm totally on board.
I mean, if you're gonna go as far as to wear a utilikilt, which I have zero problem with, Elderhosen, there's our leather cargo pants. Oh, these are fantastic.
I love those so much. And I love that every single male model they got is fucking bow-legged as fuck, just like me.
Oh, every one of them. They all just got off a horse. So we are going to get a Hefe sighting here somewhat soon.
Dude,
there
nice
he
timing.
is.
Holy shit.
Did Steve just come?
Hefe.
Possibly.
Not that you
allegedly.
What's going on?
We were just talking about lederhosen.
Oh.
And whether we would wear it or not. What are your thoughts on lederhosen?
Excuse me. Never experienced it. You?
I haven't, but I think I've come to grips with I would wear them, especially the cargo short version. I've got some examples on the screen if you want to take a look at it.
Huh. That's a Whiskey Hill uniform. I'll do it.
I mean, you know what I like about these? What the idea of these is they probably, they're not cheap, but you probably just buy those once. Like, even if the pockets started to come off or whatever, you could just, get some dental floss and sew it back on there, and it would just stay on forever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm drawing the line at the Bundhosen because there's a different names here.
Dude, those could have been. If you told me that somebody wore that to a quinceañera, I would have believed you. Those could be out of Mexico.
We are a worldly show tonight. I love this. Hefe, before we go any farther, happy birthday, man! This is your happy birthday show.
Yeah, it is. We're close enough. We can say happy birthday. We're not quite there yet.
Yeah.
But definitely my first toast goes to Hefe, and congrats on making it to 28. Good job.
Thank you. I appreciate it, guys. Doing the reverse birthdays. I'm at 41 now, or going to be 41 on Tuesday. And it feels good to be going backwards. Yeah, it feels good.
Yeah. Yep. Well done.
As long as you're going in a direction, it doesn't matter whether it's forward, backward, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You're good. Lots of happy birthdays in chat from our friends here in chat. So thank you, everybody.
All right. All little birthday cakes.
Now you've gotten to let's see, you've had a good birthday so far. My understanding is that you're having quite a time. So hats off to your friends there, keeping you busy. I'm sorry I was not able to partake.
Yeah, it was a fun chill day. We went to lunch and we went hit a couple of stores. It was good. It was a good time.
I think what everyone wants to know, Hefe, I mean, truly is, did you get your pee-pee wet?
No, we didn't go swimming.
Oh, okay. All right. Maybe next year.
Well,
Yeah,
good luck with
there's
that.
always next year.
Dead silence
So
in chat.
I I asked Gretchen if my next break, if it's going to be a 2-2 or a 4-ball, and she said, I don't know yet, and we can't just bend everything to your liking. And she was joking, and I said, it's only on Saturday. So I told her I was going to tell you guys about it on the show, but I don't think she listens anymore. So, but yeah, it looks like a 4-ball, so it's probably going to be 9:20 or whatever I said.
Well, tell her the guys say hi, and we're sorry that she doesn't listen anymore.
I will.
But we do appreciate her freeing you up and making sure that you're still available from time to time.
I'll let her know. How's the show going so far?
Good. Everything sucks. We're about to get into the news. Let's do this, Fitz. What do you think about this? Can we talk about Linkin Park?
Yeah.
FA's here?
Let's hit it.
Good
yep.
time. All right, let's do this. Here we go. This is the new Linkin Park lead singer.
Every step that I take is another mistake to you. Caught in the undertow, just caught in the undertow. I become so numb, I can feel you there. Become so tired, so much more away. I'm becoming nervous, all I want to do is be more like them and be less like you. Can't you see that you're smothering me?
All right.
God damn it.
Let's go to the chat.
Jesus Christ.
Justin, this is awkward to listen to. Aaron.
Brutal.
L, no. My ears are numb. No. Oh, hey,
Okay.
hats off to Linkin Park for the diversity hire. I mean, DEI is in music in Hollywood.
That's exactly where I was going to go with this. Why would you not find another dude? And I'm not saying that dudes are better singers. I'm saying if you're going to go back to your old playlist, the old shit, then you find somebody who sings it like he did. Unbelievable.
That's how you should be approaching it. Every other band has done it that way, unless you're actually going to pivot to some kind of a lounge room act, which apparently this is.
Right.
I haven't seen a crowd so unaffected.
Dude, yeah. They were just
by a bunch of singers. Okay, yeah. Oh, great. You're filming it. You've got your cameras up. That's awesome. But nobody's like even moving. It looked like it was just completely fake. It was just absolute garbage.
And I mean that he was listen, I mean I get it. Like there's a reason why, when Kurt Cobain passed, Nirvana died that day. There was never going to be anyone who was like Kurt, and they didn't even try. Because Kurt was a voice of a generation. For a lot of people, he was their voice.
Done.
I think Linkin Park should have probably taken that road too. You can split up. You can do the whole fucking Rage Against the Machine thing where everybody just, Tom goes one way, everybody just goes their own directions and starts their own new projects. But to do this is an absolute, it's insulting. It's an absolute kick in the fucking nuts. It's terrible.
Well, it's not Linkin Park anymore.
No. Well,
it's like Lincoln. I don't even know what this is.
Lincoln Shart.
Lincoln Shart is a lot closer. I like that. Yes. They're done.
Yeah.
They're done.
Yeah, and
it's a middle-aged nightmare.
Yeah, it really is. and the crowd was like, they couldn't even see him because he was off the stage. He was down singing to that girl, and they were still fucking bouncing to it. And
Who's the new girl? Some random?
Emily.
oh, I forget Emily something. Nobody can
Armstrong,
remember
I
her
think.
fucking name.
Yeah,
Okay.
Emily Armstrong. Tabby had it in chat.
Yeah.
Emily Armstrong, and she actually she's the one who totally supported Johnny or that Masterson rapist guy, the guy from not the '70s show, the rapey guy, Danny Masterson.
yeah.
Thank you,
Masterson,
Tabby. You're like you had this chick in your sights. You've done your homework, but this is just terrible. It's a middle-aged nightmare. That's what it is. That's all
That's
all
what
they
I'm
are.
saying. It's like I mean, it's one thing to replace a lead singer, but when you're the voice, like Chester was, that's you can't do this. It's terrible.
Bands do it. I mean, AC/DC was able to change members. What's
Van Halen?
Van Halen changed members, and that he didn't have to sound like him, but he
No,
had
he
the
did his own
vibe
thing.
of he had the vibe of Van Halen.
And you know what? He sang his own shit. That's the
Yeah.
difference here too, is that she's trying to do Chester's old songs. And listen, if she came in and she was a fabulous songwriter and she had pipes and she could just fucking blast it like Evanescence or whatever, go for it. Then Linkin Park has changed. They've turned a new leaf and they're on to the next thing. To do his old stuff, it like I said, it's offensive. It's an affront. It's terrible.
Oh, it's just bad. Bad. She's a DEI hire. I'm perfectly fine saying it. It's a middle-aged nightmare, and I'm the Linkin Park is dead to me.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm done. I'm done with them.
I wonder if there's a portion of the fans that actually like it, or if it's pretty much.
So there are some folks out there that do like it, and I think as I was going through the comments because I was just scrolling X and looking at some of that stuff, and there was some that popped up that they did enjoy it.
Yeah, we're in full support of it. Yeah,
but it for me it was like they just wanted some Linkin Park.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
She doesn't match it. She doesn't match the energy that Linkin Park had. This is dull. This is absolutely dull.
You should have gotten Dolly Parton.
Oh, for sure. Dolly Parton would have been fantastic.
No, I mean she's at least got her own vibe.
Something else this week that popped up. Live Nation has taken a lot of heat because they're torturing basically anybody who's trying. Well, Ticketmaster, concert fees and things like that. I don't go to concerts anymore because I don't want to deal with the extortion that happens. And that used to be a thing that we always did.
Yeah, but I don't. I mean, but we went to Live in a Dive type shows.
Sure.
We would go to the marquee with some bigger bands. But even then, and I think towards the end of our concert career there, it was Ticketmaster. But I mean, honestly, I went to Stone Temple Pilots. Remember that time we went to Stone Temple Pilots, Hefe?
Yep.
I think that was probably one of the most expensive tickets I've ever bought. Beyond that, I mean, if it was more than $20 for a show, I was like, fuck that. I'll just buy the CD. I mean, so yeah, I mean, now that these people are paying hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to go to a show, it's like, why?
Well,
why?
And I think, I mean, I think as you have all these Taylor Swifts and Lizzos and all these, it almost takes your bargains and makes your bargains out of control, because acts actually think that they should be making a little bit closer to that. It's almost inflation. Let's face it.
Yeah,
we're paying every day for shit that's not worth it, but we still got to eat, we still got to drink, we still got to buy gas and things like that. We still want to be entertained. Movie tickets, they're 15, 18, 20 bucks a pop, depending on what time you're going to go. It's kind of the same way with a lot of these ticket places. And we always dug the smaller venues, Mad Caddies in the basement at the Nile. Fucking badass. Pennywise.
Best show ever, right.
But like you were saying, 15, 20 bucks is normal for those kind of things, but not anymore.
And I mean, what are you paying for? Like when you go to a show, okay, and I guess I'm throwing it out there to our listeners to kind of think about, like what are you paying for when you go? And for me, it was always the experience of of sharing music that I liked with a lot of other people. So okay, because I mean, I can listen to a really good version of that band at home on my stereo. Like the best version ever, because it's been mixed, right. It's been, EQ'd, it's been perfectly, crafted for my listening pleasure. And live shows, I mean, let's be honest, the sound, 50-50 sometimes sucks. Or mic's cut out, or the fucking light show, causes epilepsy, and then you come on the girl next to you, and then you're, in jail for sexual harassment or whatever happens. Yeah. But like the whole point is to be there at the live show, feeling the energy of the band, feeling the energy of the other people. That's not worth more than like $50 to me.
No.
And so like, and if I wanted to give more money to the band, then I would go hit up their little merch tent. And I'd buy a sweatshirt, or I'd buy some stickers or whatever. I don't know why these bands, and okay, let's use Taylor Swift. Who the fuck do you think you are charging $3,500 a ticket? And that's not even front row. That's like bottom section, but that's the back of the bottom section. $3,500 for what? To listen to watch her lip sync her own fucking bad music, and to watch her dumb flat ass walk around the stage? She can't even dance.
That is a really flat ass too.
It's totally flat. She's so unattractive. Flat ass. So I, to me, like, here's the deal. I paid $5 to get into a show for Black Pistol Fire. It was me and like 30 other people, me and my wife and 30 other people. And I was so close to the stage that when the lead singer / guitarist, he was doing a guitar solo, and he was just fucking riffing on it, and I was yelling at him like, go, go, go. And he was riffing on it so hard, he started to fall off stage, and I grabbed him and pushed him back up on stage. That's a fucking bargain right there. And if you don't know who Black Pistol Fire is, go do yourself a favor and go find out. They're amazing.
Yeah. Or get on our Patreon and listen to the walk-up show that happens before the show, because you'll hear Black Pistol Fire a lot.
Every once in a while, yeah. So to me, that's a show, that's a memory that I will always have. And I literally paid $5 in a fucking pizza joint that they just booked out. So that to me is way more memorable than my Stone Temple Pilots concert. Although, we did get in a car crash that night, so that was memorable.
Well, let's go ahead and pivot over to MSNBC so they can tell us all about all the Russian propaganda that is that we've been lied to about.
The Russians are coming. The Russians are coming.
Breaking news. The Biden administration taking a series of actions to target what they allege are attempts by Russian-backed actors to manipulate public opinion here in the U.S. ahead of the presidential election, according to two senior U.S. officials. Joining us now is NBC's Ken Delanian. Ken, what more have we learned?
Jose, this is being described by our sources as a whole-of-government action designed to target Russian propaganda and disinformation aimed at interfering in the 2024 election. It is said to include sanctions by the Treasury Department, law enforcement action by the Justice Department, and one of the focuses is on RT, formerly known as Russia Today, that network of Russian government-funded English-language websites and television platforms that was flagged all the way back in 2017 by the U.S. intelligence community as a vehicle for Russian disinformation and election interference. And at that time, the Justice Department required RT to register as a foreign agent. It remains to be seen exactly what actions the U.S. will take against RT today, but this does appear to represent an escalation in the efforts to try to purge the system of Russian propaganda and disinformation. What's interesting is that, look, the U.S. has been saying all along that not only Russia, but Iran and China, but particularly Russia, has been consistently trying to manipulate American public opinion with disinformation on social media platforms, use of fake accounts, and through RT, through its state-sponsored platforms, as they did in 2016. The difference now is that there are mechanisms in place, particularly on the social media platforms, to try to stop and flag fake accounts before the influence operations spread too widely. So it remains to be seen what impact this Russian disinformation is having. But nonetheless, this is a stance by the Biden administration to say if you're violating U.S. laws and policies, we're going to come after you. And Attorney General Merrick Garland is expected to chair a meeting of the government's election task force today, this afternoon, with FBI Director Chris Wray and other officials, and he may have public comments to make about this effort at that time, Jose.
Okay, so we've been talking about probably the last 6 weeks at least, that any time the Democrats come out and say one thing, okay, they're already doing it, right? So they're going to accuse Trump of putting away of lawfare. We're going to go. He's going to jail. He's going to jail everybody. He's going to take away everybody's voice. He's going to make sure that there's no free speech. All of this kind of stuff. Well, what are they doing? They're turning around and manufacturing that themselves. This is another case of that, and it's absolutely glorious because the United States is one of the biggest manipulators of elections all across the world.
Yep.
So
we do it everywhere.
Everywhere. So if you think for one instance that we're not manipulating our own elections and we're not manipulating everybody else's elections and other countries aren't manipulating ours or trying to get their own message out or trying to be influential, China this week coming out that they even had somebody in Hochul's office. It's absolute trash, but it's a great signal. Now, these are the DOJ documents, the justice.gov. You guys can go there. They're in show notes. These are the campaign topics that they're saying is Russian disinformation. This is fascinating. So, Fitz, encroaching universal poverty. It's Russian disinformation. Record inflation. Okay, it's all fake. It's Russian disinformation. Halting of economic growth. We're not in a recession. That's Russian information. Risk of job loss for white Americans. I love this one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yep.
This is a fantastic one because if you look at the jobs report that came out this week, Americans in general lost. How much was it? We've got it in show notes too, and we might even get to it later. I think it was like 600,000. Something like that, or 1.3 million or something.
It was over
a huge
800.
number.
I know that. Yeah.
Massive number. Massive. What? Thank you. Okay, Aaron, our listeners are fucking rad. Aaron's got it. 1.4 million. Privileges for people of color, perverts, and disabled. I don't even know what that means. I don't know what that means.
So if I say that this disabled person, this person who is disabled, got to sit close to a concert. No, actually, this actually happened. I'll use an actual story that this disabled person got to get into the Olympics and watch the Olympics for, a fraction of the cost of other people. That's disinformation, because that actually happened. And a couple of guys worked the system, and they were both totally able-bodied people, but one of them got in a wheelchair, and they paid $50 to watch the entire track and field event. And of course, he had to have his helper pushing the wheelchair. So he and his buddy watched the entire Olympics for $50 when everybody else was paying, $600-700 a day. And they got in for, I think it was 50 euros. So that's more like $65-70. So my point is, I'm now part of the Russian disinformation campaign because I just said that. A true story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
cool.
exactly what it is.
I just wanted to make sure that I was a Russian agent. I'm gonna have to hit Putin up for a paycheck here because.
Well, he's not going to pay you because he's supporting Kamala because Biden supports Kamala.
That's right.
He came out this week as soon as this broke on Wednesday, and all of the left-wing media started gooing all over the place because of it. Putin comes out and goes, "Oh no, we don't support Trump. We support Biden and he supports Kamala, so we support Kamala." Legitimately said that. Came out. I'm sure he was laughing. And I don't know how he would have said it with a straight face, but that was the story. Constant lies of the U.S. political party B administration about the real situation in the country. Threat of crime coming from people of color and immigrants, including new immigrants from Ukraine. How many?
You know how we knew this was bullshit, and I mean not just because of the actual stories that, of course they were against, but and I'm just kind of going back to what you just said. It was almost literally simultaneously all the left-wing media came out with this story
at the same time.
Exactly the same moment. So it's like, here's your marching orders. We'll tell you when you can release it and go. We're not stupid. Well, I mean, maybe some people are, but most of us out here are going, really? CNN, MSNBC, all of you are going to come out with the same exact story with the same verbiage again?
Yep.
Come on.
That's what it is.
Terrible.
That's what it is. It is absolutely mind-boggling that we're actually in the place where this is okay. It's like we can't even get. They admitted weeks ago. I mean, they didn't admit that they're communists, but when Kamala went in and threw down all of her her price control speech, right, when that came out, and everybody's like, okay, you're a communist. And we got some other stuff we're going to throw out there too, because she's actually a racist also. But
right.
It was very much all based on, it broke on Wednesday morning, and an hour later the DOJ comes out. So that paved the way. Now, the interesting thing I'm finding here is that they came out after Tenet Media, which I'm not super crazy about those guys anyway, because
I saw no fewer than 4 accounts. It might have been as many as 6. I don't know. I wasn't keeping track, but people would run with this story about Tenet Media, and then they would say, Tenet Media, who's backed by, and then they would come up with these like ridiculously overly Russian Slavic names. Dmitry Volodyev. And then the next one I would find was 2 totally other different names. It was like whatever press release they handed out, they were like, here, take this press release and then fill in the names with whatever you want. Because they were all different names of these people who were apparently funding Tenet Media through Russian channels. And it's like, really, guys? I mean, I don't know. The whole thing looked and smelled so fake. And they never even really tried to justify any of it. They were just like, here's the story. This is what's happening. Take it or leave it. They never justified it.
Well, and this Lauren Chen, who's supposedly receiving that money, right? Because apparently RT or somebody went ahead and gave her $10 million that she distributed to the rest of Tenet, because apparently she runs Tenet. And she's totally against Trump, doesn't like Trump at all.
Right.
So the messages don't even match up. You've got these 6 influencers, Benny Johnson, Tim Pool, there's 4 others, which
and don't forget the Tim Pool angle. A day before this story broke, Tim Pool announced that he was suing the Biden administration for the slander.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Because they used a clip of him. Yep.
Exactly. Saying that he was advocating for the killing of political opponents of Trump, which is not at all what he said, obviously.
No.
That would have been a much bigger story if that's actually what he said. So he already was going to sue the DOJ or the Biden administration, whoever the fuck you sue at that level. I don't know. And then the day after, this story breaks and he's on that list. Of course. Unbelievable. This lawfare it's super sophisticated just on the level of, I wouldn't even know the legal channels I would have to go through. Like, let's say Whiskey Hell as a show was accused of doing something or saying something that we didn't say or do. I wouldn't even know where to start. How do you sue the American government? Or do you sue, again, do you sue the administration, the DOJ? I mean, what? I don't know. But so on that level, it's extremely sophisticated. And on another level, it's extremely just juvenile. Like, he said a bad word about me, teacher. That's all we're doing here is pointing fingers and saying you said some bad shit about me, and now you're in trouble. Now you're going to the principal's office.
And if you look at the DOJ files that they released, okay, there's no actual, we know this person told this person to say this and this is this. It's not. It's money laundering. It's like tax evasion. Yeah. We're going to get you on tax evasion. Oh, you've got money laundering. So you're just going to go ahead and take Russia Today, gave somebody money, and now you're going to say these guys are involved because they work for this chick who took the money from Russia Today. Okay, fine. But unless you're going to say that it's actual disinformation, like Russia is telling you, these are your marching orders, you need to go out there and say this, then you're not going to get anywhere with this. It's just slander. Nope. It's just lawfare. That's all it is. It's bullshit like everything that's out. It's just static to go ahead and put out into the atmosphere and make sure that we've got something else for somebody to have to sift through in order to make a intelligent decision. The names on this list, and you said this today, and I did not connect the two until you said it, and I appreciate you saying using the term McCarthyism.
Yeah.
Everybody on this one picture, it's in show notes. You guys can go ahead and take a look at it. Tucker Carlson, Scott Ritter, Jackson Hinkle, Jimmy Dore, Russell Brand, Ray McGovern, Helga Zepp LaRoche, Max Blumenthal, Glenn Greenwald, Che Bose, Clayton Morris.
Yeah.
Douglas
I was
McGregor.
Surprised to see them on there.
Jeffrey Sachs. Okay. Every one of these people have something to say that's negative about the government. Yeah. And if this is where we are, this is how we're going to be playing ball now, this shit just got real.
Well, it is real. And, so what we were taught about, the Red Scare back in the day was incorrect, because I think we all heard it that it was, that these people were being blackballed and that they were being unfairly accused, and that's true. I mean, that's not a falsification. But where that all started was some actual real, Russian agents that came in. They stole the plans for the nuclear bomb. They came in and stole plans for our basically our internet, the beginnings of the internet. There were some actual Russian agents here doing some nefarious shit, and people overreacted to that. 100%. We all know that the McCarthy era and McCarthyism is a real thing. Actors were being accused who were like, I just acted in a movie and we were in Europe. I wasn't even close to Russia, but okay. And that's what this is too. I'm sure you could probably find a name on this list on that picture. There probably is someone on there who maybe got some money, not even directly from Russia, but just from a company that Russia funded, and then they got the money, and they're just putting out their content. And listen, folks, they're saying what people want to hear, because if they weren't, you wouldn't fucking even know their names. So I think McCarthyism is hugely at play here, just in the sense that these people are being blacklisted because they're saying negative things against government. Does that mean that there's not maybe a Russian agent in there? Maybe, but maybe one or two of those, 25 people. And so again, it's that knee-jerk overreaction of like, hey, we're not doing this thing. You're doing it, and you're doing it way worse than we are. And it's happening on both sides, but the Democrats are, my God, I mean, the lies that they are spinning in order to justify their
absolutely.
stance I don't know that it's ever been done on a level, at least not in modern history. It might have been done back in Rome or something. We just don't know about it, but Egypt or something. But here, we've never seen lying like this, straight up lying. It's unbelievable.
It's very, very concerning, especially. So here's something else that I just kind of connected with the two. And this is kind of building off of the McCarthyism. You have all of these individuals who are speaking out against the government, while over here you have all these actors and / comedians, quote unquote, who are over here comedians for Kamala, right?
Yeah.
Or white guys who, let's face it, those are B-list out of work actors for Kamala. Okay, it's a fact. Those guys can't find a fucking job. Sorry, Sean Astin, you're not that cool outside of being a hobbit. You know, let's grow up now.
Right.
I can see, you don't see a lot of actors saying, whoa, 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 you know, this is absolute bullshit. You don't see a lot of anti-establishment movies coming out. We're going through it. When you step back, we're going through a hell of a period. Who's going to be the Edward R. Murrow that's going to all this shit down? I don't know who that is.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and there is a list out there. God damn it, I wish I could find it. You know, I may be able to find it, but there was a list that so people that I know are on it is like Mel Gibson, Tom Holland, you know, some of these guys who have been sort of outspoken about the ridiculousness that's going on in Hollywood, and they've been blacklisted themselves and haven't been able to get, you know, those A-list movies anymore because they've spoken out against the pedophilia in Hollywood or just the establishment, the giant machine that is Hollywood, that is a propaganda machine. So there is a list of actors out there, and who's the other one? Gladiator, Russell Crowe. He also signed it. So there's some big names on there. But again, these are guys that can't find work right now either, or at least not A work. They can find B work and C work, but not A work. And so, I mean, I guess I pose this question: are our heroes? They're not dead. They're just buried underneath all the noise and all the static of all the A-listers. Because I think they're out there still.
Well, let's see if we can find that list for next week. Because I think that'd be a really
I'm
interesting.
hunting it down right now. Yeah.
I mean, we're big movie guys, so we don't talk about them a lot on the show because it's not the basis of the show. But I mean, it's definitely something. Okay, but Tabby, Kevin Sorbo, was he ever really an actor? I know he's not. He is your Hercules. I'm with you on that. Woods, what's his name? I can't think of his name now. The angriest man in Hollywood, Woods. Help me out, chat. Come on, you guys have been absolutely wrecking. James Woods, thank you.
James Woods, yeah.
Yeah, James Woods hasn't been anything, but then I guess maybe he doesn't have to be anything anymore. But I would put him on that list too. And for sure. So let's see if we can dig that up. We can go through that next week. I think that'd be interesting.
Agreed.
Let's see how racist Kamala is, because this is nice.
And we're talking about specifically something that happened to black people here in America. So we have to be specifically targeting to help those people, because we put those people in a position, and everybody knows the history. Yeah. Everybody understands the history of America.
That's right.
America, you did this to these people. You should write laws for these people. Don't group us in with everybody, because everybody didn't happen to everybody. But let's be fair. We playing from behind the 8 ball. We way back there, 400 years back there. We're not asking y'all to give us nothing. We actually write the law. Those of us who are willing and able to do the work, will do the work.
That's right.
That's what we need.
That's right.
So she's in a barbershop setting with I think it was like 7 other black gentlemen, and This gentleman's talking to her, talking about having specific laws just for black people. Your Democrat runner for the presidency of the United States is talking about segregation and being totally fine with it.
How is that not segregation? Different laws for different races? Okay.
Well, it
think
builds
we tried
off
that
of
once.
DEI. So yeah, right. So who gets the separate water fountains? Different buses. Let's make sure that people are only going through separate doors. Right? We want to make sure that everybody's using the right door. If you're going to pick up lunch, you have to use the special counter around the back side of the building. You know,
Don't forget about schools. You know,
we gotta
kids
have separate
disadvantaged.
schools for everybody.
Yeah, so we need separate schools to lift up the black community because they've been oppressed. So yeah, we definitely have to segregate the schools.
Why are the Democrats so fucking dumb? This is asinine. I want a logical reason for this. I'm looking for that, and I need it.
I think, you know what it is, and we've talked about the echo chamber before, but I think it's one of those situations where, you know, you go so far one direction and you don't realize you're on a globe. You go so far one direction, you end up in the exact place you hate. You end up in the exact, by being so DEI, you end up being a bigoted, racist, segregationist asshole, and you don't even realize it because you think what you're doing is it's going to accomplish the right things, and it might be for the right reasons, quote unquote, but you're going about it the wrong way, and it's then disenfranchising another group, and it's a slippery slope, and they're on it. I mean, the slippery slope is now a fucking slip and slide. They're gone. They're so far down the fucking track. I mean, it's sick to watch. It's sick to watch, and it's sick to be on the other side of it. And I think particularly, I'm not, I'm not trying to separate anyone out from this group. You may be part of this group as well, but I will say specifically for me, for us as Gen Xers, when we literally grew up just taught not to see color, you know, not to even make it an issue that that's just another person. Oh, that's just
it's a human being.
It's a human being. Oh, they're gay.
A human being.
I don't give a fuck. I don't want to talk about it. I'm not going to tell you how I railed my wife. I don't want to hear how you railed your boyfriend. But we can still be best friends. That's okay.
Totally fine. We all have a beer at the end of the day. It's great.
Why did that jump the fucking shark? And now it's like, not only do you have to respect me as a gay man, but you have to, I can say whatever I want in front of your kids. In fact, I'm going to go read them a book about being gay and about anal penetration. Like, whoa.
Yeah. Here's your homework assignment. I want you to go home. I want you, since you're 13, I want you to write a story, a sex story that you wouldn't tell your mom. And you, because you're 9, I just want you to go home and I want you to touch yourself. That's this kind of stuff that's happening in the UK.
Yep.
That's not in show notes. Go look up The Guardian. I think it was in The Guardian. I didn't put it in here because it's fucking.
Dude, that shit's happening
but
here
that's
in
the
this
kind
country
of shit
too.
happening.
Seattle, yeah, it's happening to Seattle, San Francisco. It may even be happening here in some school districts here in Eugene, 4J. I don't know. I know that I'll tell you this. They went real quiet and real dark when all that shit started to come out. So that makes me think they're doing it. It's just not hitting the news.
Oh, I'm sure it's not hitting the news. Nobody wants to talk about this stuff. Nobody wants to deal with that piece. Here's more racist Kamala. But this time it's because she's changing her voice. Remember, she never used to sound like this. But here she is again.
The accent is back.
Stacey Abrams would be the governor of Georgia. Andrew Gillum is the governor of Florida.
First, we saw her develop the magical accent when she was down south.
I'm going to get into some business now. Okay.
And now it's back.
You all helped us win in 2020, and we're going to do it again in 2024.
We gonna beat him in November.
Well, what are you going to do about it?
We all know you don't talk like that. You've been vice president for 4 years.
He does not walk it like he talks it.
She doesn't talk like this.
When we get this done together, my friend.
I know how to talk to you. I mean, come on.
Do I see people testifying? Can I get a witness?
And they know. Yeah. We all know she's just a big walking bag of artifice.
Can I get a witness, Fitz? Can I get a witness? Oh, my God. Good Lord. Lordy, Lordy. Good Lord. You're a witness for the congregation. Here she is. Hold on. We're not done yet.
Yes.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
Best rapper alive, Tupac. Are you kidding me? I'm totally
He's not alive, you dumb.
Part of that whole listening generation of music.
She seems to come forth with some sort of an accent while she's talking to French scientists.
We campaign with the plan. Uppercase T, uppercase P, the plan. We're expected to defend the plan.
What was that?
But that was weird.
Oh, the possibilities are immense. Whatever you want to do, you can do. I eat no for breakfast. Young men of color, black men, it's not just a barbershop.
You know Kamala Harris is Indian, right?
We got these brothers out there. This one brother who's doing a lot of work on space.
You are Indian.
Yes. My chitti is here. I was just talking with my chitti about this. Go to India for Diwali.
We have to stay woke.
Let's get a ceasefire. There must be an immediate ceasefire.
Like everybody needs to be woke. Just stay more woke than less woke. Leave grandma's medical marijuana alone.
Do you want to put a little of that bourbon?
Yes.
Okay. Go on and put a little
bit.
She's so offensive. She's the She's the most racist, most offensive politician I have ever come across. And we're talking, she's worse than Strom Thurmond, who I think was part of the KKK, if I remember correctly.
He was. Yep, he was.
So,
right.
Okay, this is the kind that she is absolutely wretched. CNN, this is CNN. We can go get our new beers in a minute, but listen, this is CNN.
Yeah. Tonight, K-File investigates. In a new report, you'll see first out front. The K-File team scoured Kamala Harris's tweets and statements going all the way back to 2017. And what they found was more than 50 instances of Harris slamming Trump's border wall. But now, new Harris campaign ads actually showcase that very wall.
As a border state prosecutor, she took on drug cartels and jailed gang members for smuggling weapons and drugs across the border.
And on top of critical tweets, Harris also wrote in her 2019 book, quote, "There was a bigger reason to oppose the border wall. A useless wall on the southern border would be nothing more than a symbol, a monument standing in opposition to not just everything I value, but to the fundamental values upon which this country was built. How could I vote to build what would be little more than a monument designed to send the cold, hard message, keep out?" Well, K-File's Andrew Kaczynski joins me now. So, Andrew, I mean, you all have gone through, scoured an incredible amount of material. Tell me more about what you found.
Yeah, that's right. We found more than 50 of those tweets criticizing the border wall before she used that in her ad. And I want people to take a look at just a few of what she said here. She called it wasteful, useless, a waste of taxpayer money, a vanity wall project, a wasteful border wall, a stupid wall, a medieval vanity project, and an unnecessary wall. And those are really just, there were more of this, just like 10 or like 50. But there was really a lot of this was the common refrain during the campaign. You read that quote where she said it was against everything that not only she stood for, everything America stood for, but and she brought this up a lot. Take a listen to just one instance of that in 2019.
It's the president's vanity project.
His multi-billion-dollar vanity project called a wall is nothing more than a distraction from the fact that he actually hasn't focused on working people in America. He contrived a national crisis.
She's a liar. She's a hypocrite. She's racist. She's the worst puppet that the DNC could have ever come up with. It is absolutely bizarre that we actually got into the place that we're in. I want to play one other thing here before we go to break. This is a Benny Johnson clip.
You better thank a union member for the 5-day work week. You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time. You better.
It's just surreal. It's just absolutely surreal that we've gotten to the point where this is allowed. Where I don't understand how this is actually okay. I just don't understand it. They lap this up. It makes you wonder, if we're going to talk about disinformation, it makes you wonder just how much manipulation is going on. We've already seen over and over and over again, Fitz, where she has to bust in people to go ahead and attend her events. She had a thing in Massachusetts, had to bring in a whole bunch of people for her event. Georgia, same reason. I don't know. It tells me she's done, but on the outside, it just got to make you wonder.
Well, I think at this point what we're seeing is a very sophisticated public relations campaign to make her seem relevant. And we mentioned this on the show last week, but I really, in my soul of soul, I feel like this is what's happening, is that they have to make her look like she's plausible so that they can make the election look close enough to steal. Because if everywhere you went, everybody was like, fuck Kamala, I'm Trump all the way, and then she wins 80-20, you'd be like, there's no fucking way. Because I literally don't know anyone who voted for Kamala, which is the case. Anyone I talk to, nobody even thinks about her as a viable candidate, let alone someone that they would vote for. But they have to make it seem like it was really close at the end, so that she'll edge him out by 100,000 votes out of, we'll have some astronomical number turn out again. It'll be like 160 million votes, like it was back in 2020, and Biden wins by 200,000. It'll be like that. It'll be so close that and we'll all be looking around going, really? Didn't seem that close, but okay. When in reality, and it's been well documented how the Biden administration, the Democrats, the DNC, I'll just say, they had those mules that were going out and putting in a bunch of ballots in boxes. We have the whole Maricopa County thing where the fucking cameras went dark. There was nefarious shit. Georgia and Atlanta, the cameras went dark. All kinds of nefarious shit went on, and we know it. And that could have been enough to equal that 200,000 that Biden supposedly won by in those swing states. And so I think they're playing it again. I mean, listen, Russian disinformation, check. We had that back in 2020.
Yep.
We had it back in 2016. Super close election that could be stolen, check. A candidate who nobody likes, who nobody has any confidence in, check. And yet could win. They're just setting us up for a rerun. There's no new tactics here. It's all been done. And the problem is we fell for it the first time. So here we are.
How's that beer treating you?
Dude, that beer is actually gone.
Nice.
It got more pleasing as I went through it, because the sour, you get used to the sour flavor. That got turned down a little bit, and I got some more of the subtleties of the watermelon. Again, not strong at all. Very subtle. You just pick it up a little bit on the end. Really solid beer. I would definitely get a 4-pack of that and share it with some buddies, after we chop some wood or, did some hard work or something. It's just a super thirst quencher. So yeah, I really liked it. What about you?
I loved it. I loved it, and I'm almost a little sad that, well, one, it's gone, but
right.
This would have been such a fun side bitch to drink throughout the beer.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bummed, but I've got a fantastic beer from the Rare Beer Club that you sent me. So thank you again for that.
Nice.
This is a Jolly Pumpkin, which I can't get out here anymore. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna grab that, and we can get back into beer 2 here. Okay.
Nice. Yeah, I've got 2 Jolly Pumpkins I picked up today, but I don't. Since you're gonna do one, I'm not gonna do those tonight. I'll save them for the coming weeks.
Do you have Amalgamation Station?
No.
Okay. All right.
No,
That's okay.
I have. Yeah, that would have been fun to do the same beer. No, I have a couple of different ones, an Imperial Brown and an Imperial Stout. But no,
Well,
there's a beer. No, dude, there's a beer out there that I am so curious about it. It is screaming at me.
Okay.
So I have to have that one tonight.
Well, it's good to be beer curious.
Indeed.
All right, we will be back with you in just a moment. Beer 2 underway. We'll get to beer 2 in a second, actually, but we got Hefe here. So Hefe, how's it going?
I had to skip out before. I was waiting for Fitz to take a breath, and it never happened.
Yeah, I know. I actually well, you'll hear it in when you listen to the show, but I was trying to bring you back in, and then I just couldn't shut the fuck up. So my bad.
That happens.
Well, I'm wondering if, so for everybody out in listener land, I'm wondering if I even got any of that recorded. We'll see. We'll see tomorrow when I look at it. I had a little bit of audio issues with my headset that was not working, so it's the price of dealing with Bluetooth. So anyway, Hefe, did you have did I hear a farm report was coming?
I do have a farm report. Yes. Hi. We're doing rabbits. We're doing rabbits today.
Rabbits.
Did you? Yeah.
Okay.
Did you know that the practice of breeding and raising domestic rabbits as livestock is called cuniculture? I bet you
did not know that.
No. In a group of rabbits, there's two names for them. You can call them a colony, which is boring, or you can call them a fluffle, which is adorable. The largest recorded litter of rabbits ever recorded. Any guesses?
38.
24.
That was close.
Thanks for updating me.
Wow, that's a lot of rabbits to pop out in one sitting.
Yeah, and did you know that rabbits can become pregnant again within a few days of giving birth?
Oh.
And young rabbits, they can start breeding as young as 2 to 3 months old, and the gestation period is less than a month, which is, well, that explains the phrase breeding like rabbits. And that's your farm report.
You know, when you said the 2 or 3 months thing, I almost said something about Islam and Sharia law.
Oh no, I went Democrats.
I
was like, so rabbits are Democrats then. Sorry, liberals. No, I'm sorry, pedophiles. Wait, what?
I don't think we made that better at all.
No, that was a fantastic farm report. I mean, that's I definitely am going to use the word fluffle from now on, because that is adorable.
It's a great word.
Actually, the model that I'm going to be using for my chicken coop actually incorporates rabbits as well.
Oh,
yeah. So we may be getting a few. We may be breeding rabbits as well. So that was all valuable information. So I appreciate you and thank you for enlightening me.
You're welcome. That's what the Farm Report does.
That's why we're here, and we've got some new artwork that's going to drop this week. Also, that's going to be for your Farm Report. So, looking forward to seeing what you think about what we've got later.
Yeah, that's been fun to work on, actually. Not work on, but just like throw out ideas for. Because I mean, let's be honest, it's all AI.
Yeah. No, it totally is. Do you guys remember let's go back to Mandela. So this is a Disney Mandela.
My God, this made me so mad when I saw this.
Yep.
Okay. Right. So watch this or listen to this and we play along at home, please.
Please correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't Tinkerbell fly over the Disney castle at the beginning of the movies, like the intro to Disney movies? And in the old movies, she flies over the castle and then comes and dots the I in the word Disney. Well, Disney is saying that that is not true. That's never been an intro to a single Disney movie. But I remember she would fly over the castle, and that's her pixie dust going over the castle, and she flies up and dots the I in Disney. And Disney's saying it never happened. And then I go look at all the intros to Disney movies, and it doesn't happen in a single intro. Am I wrong? I'm not going crazy. I swear, other people have seen this, and they are saying that it's a Mandela effect. We're in a different timeline. I mean, don't y'all remember this? How can you say that that was not Tinkerbell? That was the intro to Disney movies. And for them to say that it never happened, this is definitely a different timeline.
This is the most
100%.
blatant one I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of those they say, this is, you remember it this way because of this, or they give a reason. What's the reason behind this one? What are we misremembering? Because there's no explanation for it.
No. Everybody I've talked to remembers it that way, and up to and including when you go on Disney Prime or on Disney Plus on my TV. The little intro is Disney, and it does this little arc, and it goes ding at the end, and I'm like, oh, that's Tinkerbell. I mean, where else would they have fucking gotten that? What is it? A shooting star? I know what it is. It's a light bug that blows up at the end. What the fuck what's the explanation for that?
Yep. There is none.
Yeah, it was on The Wonderful World of Disney. It was on every fucking Disney movie ever created before recent memory.
Agreed.
I mean,
agreed.
God. But I feel like someone needs to have some old VHS tapes to be able to prove it. Because that would be irrefutable. DVDs and all of that, maybe they took it out by then. But if you have an old VHS of like The Watchers or an old Bambi,
Bed Knobs and Broomsticks, Old Yeller, Bambi,
100% guarantee it's on there. 100%.
She was like she was the spokesperson for Disney because she was so fucking adorable. Everybody knew, oh, it's Tinkerbell from Peter Pan, which is iconic.
Yeah, of course.
All right, Mike dropped something in the chat. Let's go ahead and look at what Mike.
All right, let's see what we got. There we go. Here it is. Yes. Thank you, Tinker. Yes.
So we're just calling
100%.
Bullshit on that Mandela effect. Absolutely.
Yeah. So okay, all right. We all 100% know that's bullshit. Why would Disney come out and say that never happened? Why?
Couldn't.
Are they trying to just make us think we're all fucking crazy? Is that what this is?
I don't know. I mean, we talked about the Fruit of the Loom stuff.
Yeah. Maybe it's part of this whole Russian disinformation thing.
It has to be.
And it's
Russian
like,
it has to be Russian disinformation.
If we make everything questionable, then you won't know what to question. I mean, truly, that could be what it is. Because, I mean, sometimes I wake up and I'm like, am I really a woman? Like, is this dick real? And then,
And
you
then
know,
you
and then
flip it a couple times. You're like, whoa, I guess it's real.
then I smack it on people's butts and I rub it a little bit and I'm like, yeah, it's real. It gets hard and everything.
If you were a woman, I would have hit that a long time ago.
But I know. I have a great ass. I really do.
I gotta go. On that note.
On that note, hey,
right.
given your history, I hope you have a great night.
Thank you. There's always room for improvement.
Yeah.
You guys have a good show.
All right, man.
Thank
Later.
you, sir. All right. So I do have a Jolly Pumpkin beer here to go ahead and get to. This is Amalgamation Station, an oak aged blended sour. This is I've already poured it out, and holy cow! One, it's a Jolly Pumpkin. Jolly Pumpkin, if you get some of their bottles, they're fantastic. Very
those
well
boys
crafted.
don't fuck around.
No, they don't. But it's also one of those mad brewer type guys. So
Yeah.
You
McKellar.
You never know what you're going to get. I think they actually are. I'm pretty sure they're related to McKellar. I think they're cousins or something like that. Or Gypsy. I think we call them Gypsy brewers. Yeah.
Appalachian related or just like in general?
No, not like backwoods.
Sorry, that was racist. That was racist.
Banging your
My bad.
sister stuff. No, nothing like that. Nothing that Kamala would do. But it's it's a sour. It's an oak aged sour, so you get a lot of wood with it. Not like actual wood, but like you get a woody flavor, texture to it.
Yeah, dog.
It's a very clean sour too.
Clean wood. Everyone likes clean wood.
Oh boy.
Polished.
Captain's log, day 1275. The crew grows weary. Patience is thin. The blend is almost complete. Caramel, vanilla aromas with floral notes and pleasant oak presence. Amalgamation Station is a proprietary Jolly Pumpkin Artesian Ale blend exclusively formulated for the Rare Beer Club's 30th anniversary. Cheers, mahalo, plenty. So this is a rare. It is absolutely filthy, and I'm going to go ahead and I'll take a picture of this and post it to chat so you guys can see it. But this is absolutely dirty water when you look at it. It's a good sour. It's not one of the new sours, right? This is an old school sour. It's not going to be like a Drecker that's like a ton of fruit and it's all up in your face and oh my gosh, this is amazing kind of a thing. This is an old school sour. It's going to make you pucker. It's going to give you some fruit, some notes, but it's going to be a sour at the end of the day. So very woody. It's good. It's good. I'm glad I saved it for the last.
Nice.
What are you embarking on over there?
Okay. First of all, I appreciate all the references to wood earlier. Second of all, this is a offering from Fort George Brewing, which is a fantastic Pacific Northwest brewery. And I say fantastic mostly because they don't focus, exclusively on or primarily on IPAs. They do a lot of very interesting things. In fact, I picked up several Fort George specialty beers today. This one, though, really, really intrigued me. And as soon as I start reading what it is, I think you'll understand why. Because, brewers do some weird shit with beer, and I'm like, okay, you're just doing that for effect. That's actually not going to taste good. You're just doing it because you can. But this one intrigued me. So this one is called Mutant Skull, and this is a rum barrel-aged strong ale with lime, coconut, pineapple, banana, and guava. So this
Oh,
is a tropical strong ale.
Wow.
Yeah. Interesting
That's
concept.
nice.
It's either going to fucking suck ass all over the place, or I'm going to fucking love it and I'm going to fall in love. For it being a strong ale, it's only at 8%, I believe. Yeah, 8%. So it's not super strong. Yeah. But still in the family. This collaboration with Astoria's one and only tiki bar, Dead Man's Isle, or this is a collaboration. This rum barrel-aged strong ale is packed with lime, coconut, pineapple, banana, and guava. Mutant Skull is named for the bar's famously fruit-filled rum cocktail of the same name. Nice. Okay, so that was the inspiration. So let's now discuss the execution. So it poured a bit lighter than I was. You talked about dirty water for your beer. This is kind of that's a good description for this beer too, or maybe even more like a hazy IPA. So sort of, light honey, but very cloudy. And this thing had sediment in it, so I think they used real fruit and coconut, because this was like, I had to stir it a little bit at the end to get everything off the bottom, all the sludge off the bottom. So anyway, here we go. Oh, God. Holy shit. Okay.
Now, is it kind of jungle juice like?
No. Nope.
Okay.
Nope. It is pineapple up front, a little bit of coconut, a little bit of banana, and guava's at the end, but it tastes more like pineapple juice. Ladies, wink wink. It's heavy on the pineapple, and then at the end you get a little bit of a sour bite to it. Zero heat to this thing. If you told me this was a 2%er, I'd believe you. No heat to it at all. So in that way, it's probably dangerous, because you could have 3 of them and not know that you were drinking an 8%er. Wow, wherever this is from, I want to go there. Like, literally, I want to be on a beach, sipping this thing, like, in the middle of the Caribbean somewhere. Really, really good. Holy shit. Interesting beer. Wow. Because it's hoppy. There's some hops there, but there's also some malts buried in there. And then on top of it, you're drinking a Mai Tai. So,
wow.
Very interesting. Yeah, strange, but good.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it sounds like beer 2 for both of us is heading in a good direction.
For sure.
All right. We don't like to get...
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to answer Tabby in chat. She said, sounds like a sunscreen or tanning lotion. Not like that at all. Nope. The coconut is so subtle. You don't get the... what was that rum called that we all used to drink? That tasted like suntan lotion. What the fuck was that? Malibu. Yeah, it's not Malibu at all. It's much more pineapple. Now, if you were to put like 90% pineapple juice and 10% Malibu, maybe, but this is way better than that, because it's a beer first. So, all right, I just want to address that.
No, it's good. Good. All right. So we don't like getting into the shooters very much, but we do need to discuss this, just because this is obviously it's a narrative this week, because you had the manifesto came out for the Tennessee trans shooter. I hate calling her that, but him that, her, I don't even know anymore.
They them.
But the manifesto was released this week. Now, we don't have to go into the manifesto, because everybody can go out there and can doodle it, Google it. You guys can see it at this point. But the thing that we have to look at is that the very next day we had another shooter.
Yeah.
Like it was almost planned or clockwork, and the FBI knew or activated.
About both of them.
We know MK Ultra was real.
Yeah. I'm wondering when like shoot shot is going to be like a pronoun. You know what I mean? Like my pronouns are like shooter suicided. Yeah, killer killed. Those are my pronouns. Because and again, we all know it. This story is going to be fucking buried. Come Monday, by the time you all are listening to this show, it's going to be hard to find anything about this incident and about this person. You'll have to really dig. It'll just be memory hold immediately.
So there's, you know what? Honestly, and like we said, there's all right. I'm not going to jump the gun here. Okay, you've got a 14-year-old kid. Apparently was bullied. Dad gave him a AR for his birthday. The FBI, or for Christmas this past year. A year ago, the FBI went through and actually investigated some shooting threats. Decided, yeah, okay, he's fine. He's not going to do anything. So they go ahead and leave him around. FBI has him on their radar. Yet this week goes in and shoots up a school. Kills some kids. He's in jail. The shooter's in jail. Dad's in jail because he gave him the gun. Mom actually knew that this was going to happen, calls the school a half an hour before it happened, and they couldn't figure out which kid it was. So they didn't even lock down the school, right? And the shooter walked in, did what he did. Today, we've got a new shooter who's disappeared he's in Kentucky, actually. He's disappeared in the woods, shot up the I-75 freeway in Kentucky. We had a shooter yesterday also, which I think it was a kid got into a fight with another kid in the bathroom or something, shot him, dead. There we are. Guys, this happens in bunches. And this was triggered. It sure seems like it was triggered by the manifesto coming out. I don't know what to do with it past that.
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, listen, on the far extreme end of things, tinfoil hat time, we're going to see a lot more of these incidents happening before the election so that they can make gun control a really big issue.
That's what it seems like.
Of course we know Trump is, very pro 2A, very much a, gun rights advocate. And so that's one scenario. And listen, if that happens, I'm 100% not going to be surprised. I don't think any of you are either. On the other side of it, we absolutely are ignoring, and I'm going to say deliberately ignoring, the mental health problem in this country. And I know that always becomes the debate. Like, everyone's like, it's a mental health issue. No, it's a gun issue. You know what? I'm going to take the shootings and the deaths and the guns out of it. Period. We have a fucking mental health problem in this country. Young women have never been more depressed than they are now. Young men have never been more depressed and suicidal than they are now. And that's saying something, because men have the highest suicide rates, period. You can debate that all you want. Women, you want equal rights? Good. Commit suicide as much as we do, because we're under a lot of pressure. But we're going to gloss over that with the fact that it was the gun's fault, or it was the dad's fault for buying the gun, or it was the mom's fault for knowing it was coming and not doing anything sooner, or whatever. We're not looking at the FBI, who this kid was on their radar. The I-75 shooter was on their radar, had already done a quote-unquote terrorist event a year ago. But instead of giving these people mental health options, we have two choices, right? You either incarcerate them, which I'm going to tell you right now, they come out worse than they went in 9 times out of 10, or you just let them go, which is, California and Oregon and Washington's response. Even a lot of the East Coast states are just, catch and release. Chicago, catch and release. I don't know if you saw, it just recently came out that 4 of the 6 Venezuelan gang members who were arrested recently in Chicago, 4 of those were had been previously arrested, and because of, Biden's, legal precedents, they were just released because they're immigrants and they deserve a second chance. So that's cool. And all of that is to gloss over the fact that we have this mental health issue where people, this child, and I'm going to call them a child, they felt like their only recourse, their only way to be heard, to make their point be validated, was to shoot other people in a school. So this was the culminating event. We missed about 70 fucking markers before today or before yesterday. We missed a lot of shit that happened before then, and a lot of shit that I'm sure teachers saw, neighbors, friends. People are seeing this shit and it's being ignored. And because, hey, they have a right to feel how they want to feel. That's true. But let's get to why they feel the way they feel. And let's maybe, resolve that issue so that instead of them coming to the point where, well, it's either I shoot up a school or I shoot myself, or how about we do both in some cases? How about we stop it before that point and we have some actual mental health in this country where we give them the services and the attention that they deserve to resolve their daddy issues, their mommy issues, their I want a vagina, but I have 3 penises issues, whatever the fuck it is. Let's figure that out so that they're not taking that out on other people. This used to be a rarity. You heard about the Ted Bundys or the, Charles Manson. These were outliers, which, by the way, Charles Manson was, I think we all know now, he was part of MK Ultra and was given large amounts of LSD and taught how to get other people part of his cult. But these things were outliers, and it was a big deal. And we as a nation, we reacted to it in a way of, let's make sure our kids are okay. And now it's the gun's fault, it's society's fault, and we're not doing anything about the individual. And I'm just saying we're gonna keep seeing these things, not only to prove political points, but also because these people are truly hurting. They're in a bad way. I don't know what else to say about it.
But don't you feel like that's why they're being sacrificed? Let's just not fix it so that we can eventually take away guns.
Well,
we'll blame the guns for it. So it works into the machine's favor.
Oh, 100%. And I mean, it's like kill 7 birds with 1 stone. I mean, because who are the most vulnerable? Who are the most easily influenced? Are people who are already thinking that they're on the fringes of society, already thinking that they're not accepted, already thinking that they're being, persecuted for their views, for their feelings. Those people are highly influenceable because, like it or not, humans are social creatures. I mean, we can all sit here and say, I fucking hate people. I don't like this. I don't like that. But at the end of the day, it's been proven over and over again, humans in isolation. I mean, the worst punishment in prison is what? It's solitary. That is the worst punishment you can have. We are social creatures. And if that only means you have exposure to 2 or 3 people a day, okay, that's fine. But that's important to you. That connection is who we are. And these people
It lets you know that you're alive.
Exactly.
Otherwise,
and these people don't have that connection. So in order to feel connected, in order to feel recognized, they have to go out and do something huge, something big, something as sacred as taking another life, as taking 4 lives. I just don't understand why the focus in this country is not on mental health more often. We got Obamacare. Let's get these fucking people some help. But no, it's a rotating door, revolving door situation. They're in, they're out, and off you go. Here's some drugs. Good luck. And then they don't take their drugs, or they just say, I'm not going to take the medical advice you gave me, and fuck off. And I'm not saying mental institution for everybody. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying there need to be some red flag markers that we all as thinking people, we all know they exist. We all see them. We don't do anything about it, or the authorities don't do anything about it. And so anyway, we're going to keep seeing these things. And yes, the liberals are going to benefit from it, because it's going to be another argument and another argument and another argument to take away guns, when the problem isn't the guns, the problem is the people and the situations we're putting these people through.
So this week, one of the things that I noticed when I would comment on things with the whiskey account, every response to my comment was an emotional response that was devoid of logic, any historic analysis. It was I would almost say it was illiterate with emphasis on emotion. Okay.
Yep.
My theory right now, and I was kind of working on this week, and I didn't know if I wanted to go here tonight, but you kind of led me into that. That's all the left is. That's all the liberals are. They're emotional. They've cast off reason. They believe in hope. They have faith in whatever this machine is that's out there. The government's going to fix everything. And they have trust because they have no backbone. They have trust because they don't want to put in the effort, or can't put in the effort, or don't understand how to put in the effort. Maybe their parents before them were weak and didn't teach them how to navigate society, and why they need to have backbone, and why they need to be strong, and why they need to have an opinion. But they don't have that. It's 100%. all built around, well, I really, hey, everything's going to be fine in the end. It's a storybook. It's an absolute, it's just this storybook absolutist way of living that doesn't understand the impact that they have. So this was an interesting, I've got a video here by Peter St. Onge. We bring him up on the show occasionally. It's a fantastic follow.
This was a great piece. He's a great follow. I listen to him every morning. He's great.
I think you actually found this one. It was at Prof. St. Onge, Stonge. If you guys don't follow him, definitely do so. But this is a very interesting. This might take up a lot of our second half of their show, honestly. So we'll see where this goes from here. But we're gonna go off-roading a little bit off of the doc.
Posted that, quote, women and weak men are the most susceptible to evil. The left was scandalized, but science is on Tucker's side, assuming by evil he means authoritarian. According to a new study, if you eat healthy and go to the gym, chances are you vote right-wing, as in small government. Interestingly, the more you go to the gym, the more right-wing you vote. This builds on a 2021 study that found giving Democrat men testosterone injections turns them Republican. Not only is this hilarious, it gives us insight into why left versus right exists in the first place. Because across countries, women also tend to vote left and men tend to vote right. The U.S., for example, there's about a 15-point gap between women and men. Interestingly, it's only single women. So married women actually vote Republican by 5 points, the same as men, while single women in the U.S. vote between 40 and 50 points Democrat. In other words, the Democrat Party is, to a first approximation, single women. Not all have cats, but many do. So why do single women vote so left? Folk explanations include they see government as daddy, or they're low income and want handouts. Abortion is cited in the U.S., but it's not a major issue in most countries where single women also vote left. It could just be that single women tend to be the least informed on public policy, so maybe they're easiest for media to manipulate. But an interesting theory comes from a 2002 book called Darwinian Politics by Paul Rubin, a professor at Emory. He posits that humans have two political instincts: to resist dominance by outside groups and to resist in-group domination, as in, are the barbarians invading versus are the millionaires hogging all the cute girls. He finds that conservatives tend to focus on out-group domination, so they favor things that make us strong. Low taxes for economic growth, anti-drug laws, work requirements for welfare, strong armies, while the left tends to focus on in-group domination, so they favor forced equality, big governments that can cut down the mighty, and they fetishize niche groups to unite the weak in a grand coalition against the strong. What's interesting here is that both instincts, out-group and in-group, are universal. We all care about both, but we vote depending how we see the relative threats. Not only does this explain the enduring appeal of right versus left, at least since Plato versus Aristotle, it also explains media focus. So right media tends to focus on whether the country is strong, wealthy, healthy, are the kids doing all right? It's a politics of protection or conserving. While left-wing media acts like we are in a permanent civil war between class, gender, race, religion, sexual preference, it's a politics of fear, which apparently works exceptionally well on single women who may not have an on-call provider or protector. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained.com. It should not be surprising that people who feel in control of life do indeed vote to make their world better, while those who feel powerless see voting as a form of collective self-defense. The solution, of course, is to give people more control over their lives, whether it's school choice or making it easier to start and keep a business. People who control their destiny vote to keep that control. Read the rest with charts and all the gory...
Government is built to control the weak.
Yep.
That was a hell of a post.
Great. Yeah, super great. Succinct sort of like culmination of all the ideas into one little, I mean, what was that? 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 20 seconds. I mean, there it is, folks. And I mean, the numbers don't lie. And I think it's why it's why a lot of us, and again, I'm speaking from a purely Generation X point of view, but it's why a lot of us born in the late 60s, 70s, all the way up to what, 1980. A lot of us, while we rejected the ways of our parents in the sense of, you know, well, your kid's fucking up, you hit them. That we know that's not okay. All the way up to and including, you know, those of us who had to grow up pretty quickly because our, you know, in my case, I had a single parent, so she was running a business and providing for us, and so I had to learn quickly how to cook, how to do laundry, how to take care of myself, how to be independent, how to not be afraid when monsoon storms rolled in, you know? And all of those things were like, hey, what if we could do it a different way? And so when we came into our own in our late 20s, 30s, we were very inclusive. Hey, everybody deserves what everybody else has, or at least the chance to have what everyone else has. It's up to you whether you're willing to put in the work. But to further that, if you don't put in the work, fuck off. I don't care about how your life has gone south. That's on you. I got my own shit to worry about. I have my own kids. I have my own job. I have my car that just broke down. I got to worry about that shit. I can't help you right now. And I think unless it was in your close circle of friends, we were very like, hey, that sucks for you. At some point, that shift happened to I as millennials, or maybe even younger than that. I think millennials are leaning a little bit more towards Gen X. But the younger generation is like, we have to help everybody. Everyone's car needs to be fixed, and everybody needs health care, and everybody for free. And everybody needs their kids to go to the best schools. And that's, guys, that's not an attainable reality, at least not right now. Not with money and goods and jobs. We can't make that happen because there's going to be the haves and the have-nots. And so there really is, I think, at least I'm seeing it more, that there is this very generational split between how we grew up and then now how that's affecting how we see the world. And I'm wrapping this all around to say that, you know, Saint Ange was basically saying if you want to change your situation and you take control of that, then you're more likely to vote Republican or conservative because you have control over you have province over your own faculties. And people who feel like victims, whether that's minority or whether that's by sex or whether that's I'm a single mom, whatever, then they tend to vote more Democrat. And I just wasn't taught that way. Yes, I had a single mom. I had every reason to feel like a victim. And my mom taught me to fight for what was mine. And you know what? If the guy next to you is better than you, then you need to work harder and get better than him. I mean, that's how we grew up. And I just don't think that's taught anymore. And I to the detriment of our whole country, clearly, because we're in a really bad spot right now. And it's definitely generational. And now I will step off my soapbox.
Well, it is though. But I think there's something a little even more to it besides the generational. I think some people are wired like that. Some people are. I'm starting to think that some people are wired to be victims, and we're going through a phase right now where we have people who are wired to be victims.
Unfortunately.
Well, you want, and this is probably going to pivot into something else. But we talk about COVID. This will probably get kicked off of YouTube, right? But how many people took the shot?
Yeah. Right.
And
who?
And who? And truly who? Who's championing it still? Right? Who ran around town? Who swore that everybody needed to go? If you didn't take it, well, you need to be going thrown in a camp.
Yeah.
These were not strong individuals, because anybody who was a strong individual never would have said that. Regardless whether you took it, you never would have said something like that.
Nope.
We have things happening every day that impact our youth. We've talked about a couple weeks ago, we talked about 325,000 kids are just disappearing. Because after they came into the country because of the open borders business, right?
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Well,
that documentary's coming out, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think that comes out this week, or maybe it came out this last.
Well, it did. Yeah, it did come out. It's I can't think of the name of it. It's something. We can look it up real quick, but
yeah.
My point is that if you have those things happening, strong people don't put up with that.
Nope.
Weak people allow it to happen.
Yep.
And there is, when we go back to the what's happening with the election, and we talk about everybody who's putting up with Kamala changing her voices, all of the lying. We've got Tim Walz, he's being investigated because of I think it was like $250 million in COVID funds that were given out to this random Turkey immigrants. All of these things that are popping up, that's stuff that wouldn't be put up if we had strong individuals. If we had strong citizens, that stuff that shit doesn't happen. You might get some completely different issues. I'm not saying that because you talk about the strength of the people of people who, because that can be overdone too, right? We know that. But the things that we're talking about, keeping the Constitution, keeping freedom of speech, 2A. Making sure that our kids are protected. These are like basic shit that we're talking here. This isn't stuff that is there's if you're on one side, you're horrible. If you're not on the other side, well, it's terrible. Not to go back to the Tennessee, the trans shooter, or the next couple of shooters. And I know, Tabby, you posted in chat that they found that this guy suddenly got an AR and 2,000 rounds of ammo. I don't know how you buy an AR in the same day. That shouldn't happen.
Yeah. No,
you can't do that. So I saw that a couple of times. I'm not sold on that one. But regardless, yeah, we're gonna have to watch that. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's another one tomorrow, or the next day. Gives Kamala some really great talking points, and I know this is totally this is 10 hat theater going on right now, but you cannot dismiss the narrative. You cannot dismiss the coincidence that it happens. We know they're not coincidences.
Yeah, and I mean, they are tragedies, and we can easily, pass them off as like tinfoil hat. Here they come for our guns. But I think really what we need to be watching here in the next, I'm gonna say, what are we, like 60, 62 days from the election? 60,
yeah, something like that.
Something. Watch for, as McShane says, watch for an increase of shooters and shooter incidents, but also just very closely watch the narrative. Watch the narrative on the individual shooter, but then the overall overarching narrative of conservatives are bad. No, I'm sorry. I'm going to rephrase that. People who are voting for Trump are bad because they are condoning violence against, whoever gets shot. Kids, gays, party goers, whoever gets shot. You're condoning violence against these people because you're voting for Trump. You're also condoning, racism, whatever other group that you can lump that into. Watch for those narratives, because they'll take an isolated incident and make it a global product, right? They'll make it something like, this kid shot up a high school. We need to protect the children, and it's all about gun rights. And so it's these big global issues instead of, no, that kid was fucking mentally ill, and y'all knew about it like a year ago, and you did nothing. No, we don't want to talk about that. It has to be big issues. So anytime you see a local issue become a global issue, you have to know it's a narrative, and you have to sift through the bullshit to get through to what actually not only the truth, but also what is it that they're trying to get me to feel and to think.
Yep.
It's a successful paradigm because it keeps happening, and we keep allowing it. But the more people that we reach in shows like this, in other podcasts, in other independent, media venues, the more people that we can get to actually see these things in real time and see them happening, the better, because they're gonna keep happening. And I don't know, maybe it's a closer race than I want to believe. I don't know.
We were right about the Constitution being brought up last week.
Oh God!
And so everybody wants to get rid of the Constitution. Left side. Yeah. We need to stack the court. We need to get rid of the Constitution. It's antiquated. It doesn't do the job anymore. Blah, 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 blah. We saw that. It started ramping up 2 weeks ago. Last week, it hit a little bit of a crescendo. It's still carrying on. Here's the next one I want to bring to your guys' attention. This is James O'Keefe. And whether you want to say whatever you want to say about James O'Keefe and what a shyster the guy is, watch this or listen to this.
Why documents reveal warning of criminal Venezuelan organization Tren de Aragua expanding threat across New York City. The document states that Tren de Aragua has established a presence in Brooklyn, Bronx, and Williamsburg, New York. Approximately 400 TDA members live in those cities. Tren de Aragua, known as TDA, criminal organization members in Denver have been given a green light to fire on or attack law enforcement in Denver, Colorado. HSI New York reportedly received a similar report. O'Keefe Media has obtained controlled unclassified information known as CUI, distributed by the U.S. Army of the North Division, about Tren de Aragua, one of the largest criminal organizations in Venezuela, with an estimated 5,000 members. Now, this group has expanded across states of New York and Colorado, involved in human trafficking, drug and weapons smuggling. The distribution of the CUI document comes after videos showing National Guardsmen in subway stations and establishing a presence throughout New York City.
National Guard is now all over Brooklyn, man.
Why is the Army at this hotel?
We're here at the request of the state control.
It has been confirmed through the documents provided to us that Train de Aragua, the criminal organization, has active members in Denver and have been given a green light to fire on or attack law enforcement in Denver, Colorado. HSI New York has received similar reports. The Denver news comes on the heels of videos of Venezuelan gang members rushing into apartment complexes in Aurora, Colorado in August of this year. The document states that the Train de Aragua members are 57 miles from West Point. West Point is the nation's first established military academy located in West Point, New York. CUI stands for Controlled Unclassified Information, which is information that the government or other entities possess or create that is defined as sensitive. CUI is not classified, but it does require safeguarding and dissemination controls. The document states, quote, "This information is an anti-terrorism, force protection, and law enforcement action officer's tool and should be used for situational awareness only. This information may not be released to the media." The TDA's expansion amidst the Venezuelan refugee crisis has led to violent incidents, including recent attacks on military installations. For the sake of protection of military installations and personnel, the document states, quote, "Coordinated efforts between local, state, federal law enforcement, and the military are crucial. We've reached out to the Army for comment. We await their response. We will put their comment in the thread below. This is a developing story. Stay tuned."
All right. So, 2 months ago, Venezuela went through a huge election. Maduro, he was a prick. Big-time communist. Apparently, the other party won. Well, he didn't let them win. He ousted them, did everything he could possibly do, and made sure that the new regime didn't come in. The new regime was positive for the U.S.
Yeah. No, you said it right. The new regime was the U.S. It was just our puppets.
Well, so during this week, earlier in the week, before this actually came out, the U.S. seized his plane.
Yep.
We seized his plane in Venezuela and just brought it here. Okay, so we took it. Now, we can see that we've got a narrative over the last couple of weeks where Venezuela, the gangs are coming in. It's boring. Come on. Let's call it what it is. It's terrorism. Okay, it's terrorism.
Yep.
This isn't gang shit. This is terrorism. When you're taking over apartment buildings, you're starting to run. You're basically an army that's coming in, and you're seizing property. That's terrorism. The thing you have to worry about is Maduro never wanted to give the U.S. any oil. Do you know how much oil that they're sitting on?
A lot.
They have the most oil in the world.
Like a fuck ton, yeah.
No, it is 22.7 trillion gallons of oil.
My God. And
I'm going to call it right now. We're going into Venezuela. We're going to go into Venezuela.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I totally agree with you. When you said that earlier this week, I was like, yep, he's right. 22.7 trillion gallons.
Of
oil. Oil's just under 100 a gallon right now. So you do the math. That's a lot of money for whoever controls that.
And think about this too. Okay, look at BRICS, right?
Yep.
Look at BRICS. We've lost control of the Middle East. The Middle East doesn't give a shit about us anymore. They could fucking care. China and Russia have united the Middle East, and it really looks pretty solid that they've hammered down oil. So much so that we've stuck several carrier groups over in the Middle East, and we don't have very much actually protected in the U.S. now. We have one carrier group, I think, that's actually in the around the Gulf right now, or the Gulf of Mexico. No, I think we're going to pivot, and I think we're going to go into Venezuela next. Easy target. Venezuela can't stand up to us. Come on. But we can go in there. We can kick out an illegitimate government. There's a storyline right there, right?
Yeah.
Just tonight, I didn't post this because I just now saw it like 10 minutes ago. Gonzalez, I think that was the name of the great name. Those that actually were the president the president elect, right? That wasn't observed, wasn't put into power. They bailed for Spain for freedom, for safety. Okay.
Yep.
So now you've got this storyline where Venezuela has an illegitimate presidency, illegitimate government. We have every right to go in there. Now, who goes in there? Is it Argentina? I don't know. Chile?
I mean,
Brazil?
Whoever goes in there, dude, it's going to be backed by the CIA.
You're goddamn right. We're going to get a sweetheart deal on oil.
Yeah, just know that it won't be the CIA by name, but it'll be the CIA through proxy. And It doesn't matter what country goes in there under what, pretense. We're backing that shit. Make no mistake. And if you think that's not true, just go back and we mentioned McCarthyism already this show. To wrap things full circle, that's when it happened, when the CIA really started to not only investigate but implement successful strategies for country takeovers, for election fraud, for election manipulation, for fuck it, we just don't like the guy, we're gonna take him out. We've been doing this shit, and the problem is on the surface, it's like, well, okay, if we're the biggest stick on the block, we probably should be, bopping some heads to make sure that peace is kept in the neighborhood. Okay, I agree with you. The problem is we're sending U.S. Men and women, and I'm specifically talking about, JSOC, any of the special forces guys, SEALs, Rangers. Mostly SEALs do the precision strike stuff. We're sending these guys into harm's way so that we can influence and outright manipulate foreign government business. So that listen, it's not for political reasons. It's for monetary and business reasons. It's always about the oil. It's always about the oil, the gold, the whatever. And, when you really dig deep, and I everybody, red flag warning here, we're all putting on our tin hats right now. But if you really start researching it, which I have been lately, fossil fuels, namely oil, they're not a finite resource, guys. They're actually a process of the earth, of down in the mantle, when the plates are grinding together, they produce an oil. They produce a natural lubrication, just like a woman when she gets excited, just like a man when he gets excited. We all produce a lubrication that happens to be oil for planet Earth.
Wow!
So we're literally taking the Earth's squirt, and we're making all of our economies run off of that. It has nothing to do with dinosaurs or ancient life. It's completely reproducible. It's not like a finite resource. It will constantly be redone. But the governments want you to think that it's this finite thing and that we have to fight over it. And so here we are.
Well, and they want you to invest in stuff that's like feel good, right? Hey, let's go do solar. Let's go do, let's make
wind
sure
farms.
We've got wind farms. Hey, let's go do all those kind of things because it's clean.
Yeah.
It's all a fucking scam.
It doesn't use oil. When oil is like literally an inexhaustible resource. It's not old dinosaurs and plant life. It's the fucking earth doing its natural processes, which is why when they do fracking, that actually takes all the natural oil out of the area, so that they can, they blast it with water. So it's out of the area where they want to dig for the natural gas. The natural gas, that's debatable. That might be from ancient plant life and ancient, animals. But oil, petroleum, Nah, that's fully. It keeps coming back every year. I mean, we've gone to how many wars just since you and I have been alive, dude? 5 wars over oil.
Oh yeah, easy.
And it's not a finite resource. It will always be there for us. And also, by the way, it doesn't change our climate. So anyway,
nope. CO2 is a good thing. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it
right.
encourages plant growth. But I'll take off my tinfoil hat now and just say, to your point, what's happening down in Venezuela, I 100% agree with you, dude. If we're not overtly invading Venezuela by the time the elections happen, we will be certainly covertly invading Venezuela by the time the elections happen.
Okay.
So you're talking 60 days, and Venezuela will be under U.S. control, either outwardly or
we'll be helping them. We'll be helping them.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll make sure
100%.
everything's okay.
Yep.
Fitz, you remember when BRICS first started, and when Russia and China first announced that unification process, right? We discussed one of the things that we discussed was, well, what happens if we actually see hemispheres join together so that, and we might even have done this offline, but Russia and China and then the Middle East come together. Well, we're going to have to unify the whole, North America,
Absolutely.
South America, right?
We can't allow that to stand.
I think we still called it. I think we were 10 months ahead. 11 months ahead.
I mean, yeah, on the low end. Yeah.
I'm just saying, this is why everybody should listen to the show. That's what I got there. All right. Thank you so much to everybody who's in chat. Beard of Liberty, Lisa, Aaron, Justin, L, Tabby, Mike, Ashley, Buttercup. Yeah, she dropped off.
Yeah, and
Damn.
hey, actually, can I just say too, McShane and I, at times, I won't say throughout the whole show, that's particularly towards the end of the show, but not throughout the whole show do we sound intelligent, but there are certain times when we sound pretty intelligent and knowledgeable about the things we're talking about, and even, as McShane's pointed out, even prescient at some points. Like we're actually predicting stuff that then comes true months, weeks, and then months later. I'm gonna say that like 70 to 80% of that comes from our listeners, comes from you guys, comes from particularly these people in chat who are actively sending stuff all day when they see it.
Oh yeah.
And it makes two things. It makes McShane's and my job easier because you guys are feeding us stuff. It also makes this community stronger because we're all like, oh yeah, fuck
Absolutely.
Those guys, and yes, hell yeah, this. And so I cannot give enough credit to our listeners and our chat, especially our Patreons. You guys fucking rock. You guys really do keep us on our toes. You keep this show sharp. You keep us sharp as individuals. And also you keep a really strong community of like-minded individuals who are like, hey, we don't like where things are going. How can we fix it? Well, let's dig to the bottom of all this bullshit. So
totally.
Not enough props can be given to you guys. It's thank you so much.
Absolutely. And Lisa, you've been dropping stuff left and right. So
oh my God, yes. Dude, she's I'm just gonna say it, but she might be outpacing the rest of you. I'm just saying.
Oh dear. Shots.
No, I'm not throwing down a gauntlet, but I'm just saying she's a beast. She knows her shit.
What beer are you taking to bed, Fitz?
Dude, I'm definitely okay. First of all, that first beer by Hopworks, solid beer. Definitely gonna. Not only am I gonna drink it again, I'm going to seek it out. I really did like that beer.
Good.
Very, Very good beer. Very interesting. I like all the new shit that's coming out. That all but having been said, Fort George came like over the fucking top of that. They were like, "Oh, you want to do some new stuff? We're going to do some future shit that you're going to like in 15 years." This Mutant Skull, just the fact that they combined, I mean, kind of again, I'm tasting a Mai Tai and a beer put together. I've got some hops, I got some malts, but I also have the rum, the pineapple, the guava, the coconut at the end. I'm very, very happy. So I bought this one, and I have 2 other Fort Georges for the coming weeks. I'm very happy that I'm backing them. They, as a brewery, they are really kicking some ass, and so that's what I'm taking to bed tonight. I'm going home with the Caribbean Sweetheart. What about you? What are you taking to bed?
I'm gonna take your Caribbean Sweetheart to bed. That sounded really, really good.
Okay, fair enough.
I really, really did enjoy the Jolly Pumpkin. But I honestly, I thought the ultimate Oktoberfest, like I would seek this out. This was a really, really fun beer.
Interesting.
I didn't. Yeah. Honestly, it's a style I never would have tried. But when I saw Founders, I'm like, okay, so, all right, 9.4 barrel aged Oktoberfest. Well, that's kind of fucked up. Let's go and give it a run.
Try it. Yeah.
That's the one I'm going to take to bed. So I'm happy with that one. That was a fun beer. Liked them both, but that one is solid. I enjoyed that one.
I kind of love that you chose that one just because of the 2 you had. That was my favorite, at least. I mean, I didn't taste either of them, but that was the one I was like, that's different. That's some cool shit.
Yep, absolutely. All right. We are going to wrap things up. Thank you for sticking with us through some really sucky news. The good thing about sucky news is that we get to some really, really great shit next week. We didn't even get to half the doc. Yeah, I'm going to go and post all of it. Everything is out there. The doc was a monster.
Dude, it was my cock sized.
It was my, yes.
It was huge, right?
The only one I regret to not getting was Sir Ian McKellen. Okay. Talking shit about the Queen.
Yes.
I really wish we got to that one, but
and
check out show notes.
Also the stats on the sex offenders, that was very interesting to me.
Oh,
which maybe
yeah.
That could roll over, dude. That could roll over. We can do that one next week because that one's worth talking about.
All right, well, we'll start the doc and we'll get into it next week. Sound good?
Yeah, sweet. Yeah, love it.
I'm Steve McShane.
I'm Fitz.
Think critically.
Act accordingly, and we love you all.
We'll talk to you soon.